प्रथम भगवती जी को विनंती है हम सबको आशीर्वाद प्रदान करें।
Param Puja Swamiji, Param Puja Vaishri, Shri Hasubai, Srimati Harshaben, all of the wonderful committee, trustees, and all of the community of this divine Hari Mandir. It's such a great joy, such a great honor to be here on this wonderful occasion of your 25th anniversary. A temple in our lives plays so many important roles. We may think it's not that important. We may think it's merely a symbol, merely some place to go. We go because we're supposed to. We go because someone tells us to go. And yet, the role that the temple plays in our lives actually holds within it the keys to everything that we really need in our life. This afternoon, as Puja Swamiji and I were driving here from Pittsburgh, we passed by a church. And outside of the church, there was a sign. They always have these beautiful signs outside with some kind of slogan or inspiring saying. And the saying said, "Watch your thoughts and you can see the future." Watch your thoughts and you'll see the future. Today, modern religion, science, is saying what the Vedic rishis said thousands of years ago, that our thoughts create our future. But not only our future, they create our present. Every minute and every moment, every day is being created by what we think. And not only that which is happening to us, but that which is happening to all of those around us. Modern scientific research is showing the power of our thoughts on everything ranging from the rate at which a tree or a plant will sprout, blossom, and grow, to the rate at which our machines function well and quickly or freeze and stop altogether, to how well our immune systems work. Not only the immune systems within our bodies, but they can take cells from an immune system, put them in a petri dish in a science laboratory, and without even putting our hand on it, the power of our thoughts is changing and impacting the rate that those cells are growing. So modern science is finally beginning to catch up, slowly, slowly, with what the Vedic rishis said so long ago. Watch our thoughts. And yet, how many of us really do it? How much attention do we really pay to where our minds go, where our thoughts go? Someone who sleepwalks, who wakes up in the middle of the night and finds that his legs have taken him miles from home, goes to the doctor, gets medicine, gets treatment. We realize sleepwalking is a disease. Our legs should not take us where we don't want to go. There's a disease called Tourettes Syndrome, where sometimes in the middle of a sentence, people will find themselves shouting obscenities, shouting insults, completely inappropriate remarks. It's a disease. They get treatment. They get medication. We realize that our legs, our tongues, our bodies should be under our control. But our minds, our thoughts, this incredibly powerful tool, probably the most powerful tool that we've been given to shape today, tomorrow, and our entire future. We just let it go. And we say things like, oh, that's just my silly mind, or oh, that's just my wandering mind. Can you imagine if I sat here and as I was speaking to you, suddenly my arms started going like this, or suddenly I started bouncing up and down? You'd say she's crazy. And if I said to you, oh, that's just my silly arms, or those are just my legs, you'd say, she's really crazy. So why is it that we realize so deeply and so innately that we should have control of our arms, our legs, our mouth, our tongues? But the most important tool we've been given to create our own lives, we don't even bother to pay attention to it. That's the role that the temple plays. When we come into the temple, immediately it focuses our thoughts. Immediately it says, sit down, do japa, chant mantras, say your prayers. Do not let your mind wander. Immediately it says to us, chant the names of the Lord. And it says to us, take that home with you. Every lecture, every pravachan, everything you're going to hear from the gurus, even the priest says, chant your japa. Jap karte raho. Chahe aap gaadi chala rahe, chahe bhojan bana rahe, jo bhi hai, jap karte raho. It's not just that jap is so powerful. It's that it controls the mind. Keeps it from roaming off in all kinds of directions. So when we come to temple, it helps give in our hands the keys, the reins, to taking care of the most important thing we have. That which can lead us to incredible heights or lead us to absolute ruin. Our own minds. And when we come, we have darshan of the divine. We have Hanumanji's darshan. And he reminds us that with God's grace, everything is possible. And only with God's grace. Otherwise, we walk in here, and usually we feel like, I'm the one in charge. I'm the smart one. I'm the one doing my job. I'm the one who did the successful project. I'm the one who made this happen. I'm the one who made that happen. And if we didn't come to temple, we might keep believing that. We might spend our entire lives in that illusion. But we come to temple, we bow our head, and we hear in our mind Hanumanji's voice when at the end of the war he was asked, how did you do it? How did you fly across the oceans? How did you carry the Himalayas in your hand? How did you make yourself so big and so tiny? He didn't say, oh, well, I've been going to the gym and working out 5 days a week. He didn't say, I have these wonderful soy protein shakes that I take every morning. He didn't say it's some special tonic. He didn't even say it's a special mantra. He said, I just close my eyes and I take Bhagwan Ram's name और बाकी उनकी ऊपर है, बाकी उनकी कृपा से होती है. And it reminds us that whether we've managed to fly across oceans and carry mountains, or whether we've simply managed to complete a project or succeed a little bit, that it's all due to His grace. And that without His grace, nothing is possible. But with His grace, nothing is impossible. There's a wonderful story of a man in a village who passed away. And in his will, he had written, 1/2 of everything I own should go to my son. 1/4 of everything I own should go to the temple. 1/5 of everything I own should go to my faithful servant. So when the man passed away and they read his will, they realized that the only possessions the man had were 19 horses. So the village elders came together trying to figure out how in the world to give the son half of 19 horses. If they give him 10, it's too much. If they give him 9, it's not enough. You can't really cut a horse in half. And they were really trying to honor the dead man's wishes. But they were puzzled. It was an insurmountable hurdle. How do you divide 19 in half? How do you take 1/4? How do you take 1/5? So as they scratched their heads in great befuddlement, a wise man rode up on his horse and he said, "Can I help you?" And they said, "Yes, please, please. Guruji, this is our problem." And they told him, and he said, "Oh, no problem." And he immediately added his horse to the 19, gave 10 of the horses to the son, 5 of the horses, 1/4, to the temple, 4 of the horses, 1/5, to the servant. 19 horses gone, got back on his horse and was about to ride away. And the village elders looked at each other and they thought, "Ye kaise ho gaya? Pehle to 19 tha, ab 19 ho gaya. He's come on one horse, he's leaving on one horse, and yet miraculously kisi tarah se unhone sab kar diya." And they said, "How did you do it?" And he said, "Always remember that one. When we add that one, suddenly everything becomes possible. And that one is God. And it doesn't matter if you worship that one in the name of Lord Mahavir or Lord Swaminarayan or Lord Ram or Lord Krishna, it doesn't matter. When we add that one, suddenly all of the hurdles, all of the obstacles, suddenly, miraculously, become solvable. And the temple reminds us of that. Whatever we want to achieve in life, whatever we want to do, if we just keep God with us, it's all possible. And lastly, as we come, as we do pranam, we hear Bhagwan Krishna's voice in our head. And we hear Bhagwan Krishna's voice telling Arjun, "Stand up, do your duty." But what's important here that I want to mention is when we translate what he said and we use the word duty, we typically use it to mean that which he had to do, to fight the war, to win the battle. But it has a much deeper meaning than that. There's a very big difference between duty and job description. If I'm a mailman, my job description, my duty, is to deliver letters. But I don't need to embody the epitome of mailmanness. I don't need to get in touch with that inner mailman. I don't need to reach deep within my soul. I just need to deliver letters. If I'm a waitress, my duty, my job description is just take people's orders, bring them their food, smile, and be nice. I don't have to become, embody the divine waitress. Doesn't matter where my mind is, doesn't matter what I'd rather be doing. As long as I take those orders and deliver that food and keep a smile on my face, I've done my duty. But when Bhagwan Krishna told Arjuna, stand up and do your duty, it wasn't just about pick up your bow and arrow and shoot them. It was about embody your Dharma. Embody who you are as a king. Arjuna's Dharma was to be a warrior for good, a warrior to save Dharma, a warrior to save righteousness. It wasn't just about half-heartedly flinging arrows out of bows. It was about fulfilling who he was supposed to be, fulfilling his potential. There wasn't anything inherently wrong with not going to war. What was inherently wrong is that it wasn't Arjuna's fullest potential. Who he was supposed to be and what he was supposed to do was to uphold that Dharma. That was his duty. And as we come here, when we have Bhagwan Krishna's darshan and we hear his voice, it reminds us to ask ourselves, am I fulfilling my Dharma? Am I just delivering letters and taking orders and delivering food or doing business? Or am I really fulfilling my Dharma? Am I living up to who I am supposed to be? To my divine potential? God has given us wings. He has given us wings to soar to incredible heights. The potential that human beings have. And especially the potential that dharmic, spiritual human beings have is limitless. But we have to soar. If we've been given wings, our Dharma is to use them and to soar. To reach to where we're supposed to reach. Not just to waddle around on the ground being content with this job or that raise or this promotion or that project. Our duty, our Dharma, is to fulfill that potential. And we have to ask ourselves if we are. In California, I don't know in Pennsylvania, but in California there's a bird called the quail. And although she has wings, and her wings work very well, for some reason the quails tend to walk on the ground. They tend to fly very rarely. And they tend to walk in packs. And if you've ever been in a car, driving down the road, you'll come upon a pack of quails. And they're waddling along the road. And the car will come up to them. And they still continue to waddle. Now in India, the cows do this, but the cows don't have wings. They can't fly away. They have no choice but to sort of slowly walk off the road. But the quails have wings. And yet, amazingly, as the car honks its horn and gets closer and closer, they just waddle faster and faster and faster and faster. And sitting in the car, you think, you crazy birds. You've got wings. This car is about to hit you. And amazingly, just in the very last moment, just before the car hits that pack of quails, one of them somehow miraculously gets this intuition and starts to flap its wings and fly away. And then all of the others somehow, on command, realize, oh, if he can do it, maybe we can. And they all flap their wings, and at the very last minute, just before the car runs them over, they fly away. And in our lives, so frequently, so tragically, we do the same thing. We wait until the last minute, until our lives depend upon it, to realize I've got wings. I can fly, I can soar, I can go so much higher, so much deeper, so much farther than I am. And when we come to temple, when we hear God's name in our ears and our minds as we pray, let us remember our lives do depend upon it. Today depends upon it. Tomorrow depends upon it. And every day depends upon it.